Hello, friends. Welcome, welcome. All right, so here we are going to just review some of the basics about the root chakra to just understand what the associations are and start to get familiar with these concepts. Okay, first thing is what I want you to look at first is this yantra, this image, this symbol, this symbolic representation of the chakra. And a few things you'll notice here are first, the color red. Okay, and we get into that with some of the associations. That's a meditation of itself, the kind of color therapy aspect of working with each chakra and wearing that color, surrounding yourself with that color, noticing that color, how you feel about that color, how that color makes you feel, any attractions or repulsions to that color. The other thing we want to notice in the chakra yantra is first of all, the number of petals. Okay, each of the chakras has a number of petals. And so root chakra is the number 4. You'll also see that same number 4 in this square shape inside the circle. Okay, so that number 4, that in and of itself represents so much about the root chakra. That 4, if you think of it, 4 legs on a chair, 4 legs on a table. It's very stable. It's a secure, kind of stable number. And so that's what we're seeing when we're meditating on this chakra yantra. This symbol inside here is actually, it's a letter in the Sanskrit alphabet. And it's Lam, that is the Bija mantra, L-A-M. We'll get into chanting the Bija mantra later, but each of the chakras has a Bija mantra. Bija means seed, and it's the seed sound. It vibrationally activates the energies of that particular chakra. So you can see, right, there's all this kind of physical asana and kriya that we explore with Chakra Activation Yoga, and there's also other ways to access and activate the energies of each chakra through color and meditation, visualization, and also vibrationally and sonically. Okay, so let's go over here about the root chakra. So we have first the Sanskrit name, which is Muladhara. Okay, let's say that together. Muladhara. Muladhara. Let's let that flow out your lips. And Muladhara means root, essence, and foundation. So inherent in the name of this energy, the naming of this energy is, indicative of the qualities. The element, each of the chakras is associated with a particular element. So the root chakra is associated with the earth element. And so we not only connect with that kind of elemental energy within us, but we also get the opportunity to connect with that elemental energy in the external world when we are, needing to activate root chakra energies. We can interact more with the earth, with the ground, with soil, right? And all the abundance that the earth offers. The color, like I said, is red. And one thing I want to say about that is in kind of different schools of chakra thought, there are different color representations, just full disclosure there. In my school, in my kind of, trainings and teachings, this kind of red and rainbow representation is what holds true. The reason for that is that red as opposed to, say, violet, which is kind of up here and associated with the crown chakra, red has a longer wavelength. Okay, so in this kind of period of time and space, red has a longer kind of wavelength, whereas, say, violet has, right, a shorter wavelength. And we'll get more into that later. But that kind of gives a little bit of support to this color theory and practice that I'm using in Chakra Activation Yoga. More on that later. Again, the number of the petals is 4. So this number, right, if you work with numbers and you see numbers coming up in your life, you might be paying particular attention to the number of 4 and what that represents. The verb for this chakra, and this comes from a teacher named Anadea Judith. She created kind of this sense of chakras having verbs, and I've borrowed that here because it resonates very much with my teachings. And the verb is I have. I have. So that sense of having is very much associated with the root chakra. The body parts, okay, that we are, activating and working with when we work on the root chakra energies are the legs, the bones, okay, the heavy parts of the body, the bones, the large intestine, and the perineum, okay? The gland that is associated with the root chakra is the adrenal glands. And the consciousness that we are working with is the body as foundation and the body as beginning. This is where we begin our journey of self-realization. And indeed, if we don't have a body, this journey, right, can't begin. So acknowledging the body as essential and foundational and as a beginning place in our exploration of consciousness. Also, we're working with the consciousness of survival. Again, if we somehow lose this body, right, our journey, right, comes to an end. Not to say that there aren't other journeys to be had, but we hope to preserve this body, protect this body, nourish this body, vitalize this body, so that we can do the work that we intend to do here in this form. So, grounding is an aspect of consciousness that we are exploring here at the root chakra, that sense of grounding our energy in a physical form, in a gross physical form. Solidity, okay, again, this is about as solid as you get. Okay, other aspects of consciousness that we explore are, less so. And this, again, is what we have at the root chakra. This sense of embodiment, that we are embodying this form, that there is, energy and substance that fills up this physical form. And also this sense of security. Right, this belonging to this body. Okay, so that is a little bit about the root chakra. Much more to explore there and investigate and create connection and understanding around, but this is a starting place. Enjoy.